Rails Rants Reloaded. What's going on, everybody? What we're going to get into right now is a quick debate and opinion. We're going to talk about two airlines that I do business with. Spirit Airline, I know, don't judge me, and Delta Airline. Which is better? Pros and cons, straight off the dome. No script or notes or this, that, and the third. I wanted to make this video because I have come up with a reason why I fly Delta more than I do Spirit. I used to fly Spirit a lot. Now, if people that know me know I don't like to fly. The reason I don't like to fly because I don't like to be in the fucking air. I like to get to the destination, but I don't like to fly. It scares the fuck out of me. So when I first started traveling again, use Spirit Airlines. Was able to use the hacks that people have. I'm a man, I could put a weekend's worth of clothes in a book bag, some socks, rolled up jeans, this, that, and the third, one pair of shoes, this, that, and the third. And the tickets online were cheap. So I could go from from Georgia to Costa Rica, $300, no more. And that was the ticket round trip. And then I found out if you go to the airport, that $300 ticket will probably be about $260, $250, and maybe cheaper. The problem is with Spirit. International flights, they all leave from Fort Lauderdale, which means I have to go in double duty on my trip. Now, compared to Delta, if I go to Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, Jamaica, which I'm going to soon in July, I can get a straight flight at a premium cost. And there's different tiers to the premium cost. See, everybody always complains about the hidden fees with Spirit. The fees are not hidden. If people listened and read the instructions, they would know you can't have a bag such and such. You can have one carry-on item, and that's a carry-on item. So if you're a lady and you have a purse, that's your carry-on item. Anything else is a extra item. So you could just put your purse in a bag that you got all your stuff in, and then when you get on the plane, take your shit out the bag. Quick hack. The problem is when I'm going international, and Spirit is, in my opinion, the cheapest, best option for people that want to travel international in the Caribbean network, the Caribbean and South America, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Colombia, where else? Maybe Puerto Rico, which is part of the United States, but that Caribbean area and South America area. If you want to do it on a budget, Spirit Airlines is the best way to go. Now, with that being said, a person like me that doesn't like to fly, I don't want to fly from Atlanta and then have to have a layover in Fort Lauderdale. I want to fly straight up in the air, come down, land, I'm at my destination. Now with Spirit Airlines, yeah, you might get a cheaper ticket, whether you buy it online or you go to the airport, but now I gotta make 2 stops. I live in Georgia. I have to make 2 stops. I have to first go from Atlanta to Fort Lauderdale, that's the first stop, and then Fort Lauderdale to my second destination. Now, if I'm getting on a cruise and I'm leaving out of Orlando or Port Canaveral, and you know what? I'll tell you another thing. For those that travel international, most of the flights leaving Fort Lauderdale are leaving around 11 o'clock in the morning. Those Thursday and Friday flights. You'll have a base fare from Atlanta to Fort Lauderdale, and then Fort Lauderdale to wherever you're going. But you can get a cheaper flight, and it'll be 2 layovers, and it would be about maybe another $40 cheaper. And mind you, this is if you want to save money. I just want to get to my flight. And this is with Spirit Airlines. And we'll talk about Delta in a second. With Spirit Airlines, you can fly an earlier flight. And it'll be maybe around 6 o'clock in the morning. This is from Georgia. I don't know about other hubs. But this is from Georgia, where I stay at. Then you would fly from Atlanta to Orlando. That's one flight. That plane would land in Orlando. You would not get off of that plane. That plane would reboard other people that's transferring from Orlando. Refill up. You'll stay on the plane. They'll literally let you stay on the plane. And then fly from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale. That's your second flight. And then then you get off and get to your airplane that's going to take you to wherever you're going internationally. Now that's 3 flights. That's the problem I have with Spirit Airlines. People always make this joke, oh, Spirit Airlines, cheap ass airline, this, that, and the third. I'll tell you a story. I was going to Costa Rica, and these are the things that don't get spoken about. Going to Costa Rica one weekend, and we're flying. Mind you, from Fort Lauderdale to Costa Rica is nothing but a 2-hour flight. We're in the air for 3 hours. The cabin is hot as hell. Something had happened with the cabin pressure. We look outside the window. We're low to the water. Not that low, but we could see the Caribbean water. We could see the blue water. The captain gets on and says, look, we're running low on cabin pressure. We have to turn back around and go back to Fort Lauderdale. That was an issue in the air. And from my opinion, the staff handled it professionally. Nothing was going on with the airplane, like the engine wasn't malfunctioning or anything. But I felt that it was probably something else that was a problem. But they kept it professional. They turned the plane back around, went back to Fort Lauderdale. Now you would think, oh, my weekend is over. No, they gave people the option. They said, we have one more flight leaving. Some of y'all can get on that flight. And if you want to leave the next day, we'll give you a free round trip ticket and your hotel accommodations. We were able to get on another flight that same day. Maybe, I think the flight left around 11. We got back to the airport around 3. Got onto another plane around 5. And got to, I want to say Costa Rica around 8. And I think it's like a 2-hour difference. So it was like 7, 8. Great experience. Handled it professionally. You know, you have a lot of people online that go and say, oh, Spirit this, and I had a bad experience. Sometimes them people are assholes, and we'll make a video about those people later. But like I said, if you want to fly the Caribbean for cheap, and you don't mind jumping on 2 or 3 planes, choose Spirit. And then again, me living in Georgia, any flight that I leave, most of the flights all leave at the same time, whether it's Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, say Haiti. You could just look around, leaving that country, coming back. So I would have to leave that country. It's probably like a 2 o'clock flight. I would get back to the United States in Fort Lauderdale at around 4 o'clock. Go through customs. That's the bad part I don't like. You have to go through customs. Coming back in, you go through customs at Fort Lauderdale, not when you coming back into Atlanta, because you literally are flying from one country to America, but your layovers in Fort Lauderdale. You got to deal with Fort Lauderdale customs, which is a bitch. They're mean, they're disrespectful, and if you don't check in your alcohol or whatever, they take that shit. They might give you the option to go to the kiosk at Spirit to check it in, but then you're gonna have to pay extra money. And then one time with Spirit, we checked it in, and they handled it so bad, the daggone liquor broke. But I digress. So then it's going to be from Fort Lauderdale to Atlanta. It's probably going to be another 3-hour to 4-hour layover time, and all the flights that go from from Fort Lauderdale to Atlanta with those connecting flights, they don't come back into Atlanta till about after 12 o'clock. So you might land at 12 o'clock, you might deplane by 12:30. You're getting to your car maybe at 1:30, 1:45, and then you got to drive back to your home. I stay an hour away from the airport. Even people that are in like the metro Atlanta area, say you're in Smyrna, Alpharetta, Dunwoody or whatever, it's still maybe a 30, 45-minute drive. So you'll get off the plane at 12. You probably won't wind up getting back home until 2 o'clock in the morning. So pretty much your whole day is gone. That is my gripe with Spirit Airlines. Now we'll talk about Delta, which, how many more minutes? We got 9 more minutes. This camera shuts off. I'll tell y'all about that in a minute or two. It gives only about 15 minutes worth of shoot time. Now with Delta Airlines, you got straight flights. You're going to pay a premium. And this is where I think that the FAA is a fucking scam and is a ain't shit business for the way they conduct business when it comes to flights. Delta Airlines, you'll have your straight up flight. The straight up flight price might be a little bit, maybe $100 more than what you would pay on Spirit. But with that basic minimum flight, you can't choose your seat. You can't cancel your flight. If you cancel your flight, you can only cancel your flight a day after you purchase the ticket. Anything after that, you lose your money. But if you get the insurance, they'll credit you. And the insurance is like, I make maybe $39, $40, depending on where you're going. They will credit you. Then they have their basic flight prices where you could choose your seat. You could change your flight or you could cancel this, that, and the third, and you get your money back, which is probably another $80 uptick. Then you got Delta Plus, and I don't know, I know before COVID, they were giving out free drinks and snacks for people that go on Delta Plus, so you can get drunk as hell on the airline, or on the airplane. They had stopped doing that because of the social distancing, and they don't want people handing stuff and, things touching other things and then everybody getting sick. But that was like another $100 and something. So the only pro when it comes to Delta Airlines, it was really like, okay, I could get from A to B real quick. If I leave at 9 o'clock in the morning, I'll get to wherever I'm going around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If I'm leaving, I'll leave whatever country I'm in around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'll get back to Atlanta at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That is more my preference. I don't like flying. I just want to go to A and B. Can we compare the seats and the leg room? Yeah, the leg room on Spirit sucks. Delta, they have better seats. They have a flat screen TVs and the headboards. That's cool. But if I want to watch a movie, also I have an iPad. I could just watch stuff on my iPad, music on my iPad. So the entertainment part is really not that much because I need to be entertained while I'm on the plane. The leg room on Spirit kind of sucked unless you get the big seat, and then you got to pay an upcharge for the big seat. But the reason why I choose Delta, I started off with Spirit, but I choose Delta more is because I can get a straight flight back and forth. I'll pay maybe $200 more on a plane ticket with Delta. That same $300 plane ticket, I'll probably spend $400 to $500 with Delta. But I know I'm going to get there quicker. I don't have to. And it's, you know what? It's not even quicker because both of those planes land about the same time. It's just I'm not with the stops. I'm not with the layovers. I want to go straight to where the fuck I need to go. Coming back from the Dominican Republic, Spirit had the layover in Fort Lauderdale. Then from Fort Lauderdale went to Orlando. And then had to wait. No, excuse me. had the layover in Fort Lauderdale. It was something wrong with the plane. They have everybody that was on the plane, and they were half of the customers were going to Atlanta, the other half were going to Orlando. They're working on the plane for about 2 hours while everybody's in it. They make an announcement. Everybody that is going to Orlando, get off the plane. We're putting you on a bus. Whoever's going to Atlanta, you stay on the plane and we're going straight to Atlanta. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with the daggone plane, but all I know is I'm hearing people under the plane. I'm hearing drills and all type of funny noises that's scaring the shit out of me. Then they rearranging our seat because they like, oh, it has to be even or something. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I've never had that problem with Delta Airlines. At the end of the day, they are both good airlines. One gets more slack than the other. One's been around longer than the other. But I will choose, as long as I have the money to do it, I will choose the comfort of Delta than the frugalness of Spirit Airlines. And that's not included how, they nickel and dime you on this, that, and the third. And the funny thing is, the drink prices, because I like to drink, don't judge me. The drink and snack prices are cheaper, I think, on Spirit, as far as alcohol, than they are on Delta. If you just go on the stewardess, let me get a rum and coke, this, that, and the third. Because they'll have certain packages where you get rum, 2 things of liquor and a can of soda, this, that, and the third. It's the airport, so they're going to skyrocket the price anyway. But I think it's cheaper on their end, on Spirit's end, than it is on Delta. But also, if you upgrade your seat to Delta Plus, you're paying an extra $100+, this, that, and the third, or $40, $50. What I do is I buy my regular economy seat. I think it's either the economy, whatever seat it is that I could change it and I get to choose it, and I don't get, I could cancel my seat. I buy that, and then a couple of weeks later, I'll look on my Delta app and it'll show me how much it is to upgrade to either first class or Delta Plus. And it'll be less than when I first bought the ticket, depending on the demand of that flight and if people are not selling out the flight. So it might be another $40 upcharge. But it's still an upcharge. Both of them have upcharges, this, that, and the third. So I prefer Delta just because it gets me to where I need to go. The seats are okay. It's not really a big issue, but I can deal with it. Flat screens in the flat screens in the headrest. I like to be entertained because I like to get my mind off of what the fuck's going on in the air. So we're having turbulence and you feeling this shit and I'm like this but at the same time, I could do the same thing with my iPad and movies and entertainment. Rels Rants Reloaded. This one a little bit long. Like, subscribe, share. I'll holla at y'all later. Peace.